This is a mask. Some are prettier than others, but all of us in life have worn one from time to time. People like me wear one mostly through our entire lives because we're afraid of what people will think. Sometimes we're afraid of what we will think of ourselves inside. Every time I've met someone who's transgender just like me, there's always a conversation about we pretend. We hide things from ourselves, let alone the whole damn world. Most of all, we attempt to portray somebody that we can never be. Like I tried the tough guy persona. Didn't work for me. Truthfully, I don't think it ever would have. Yeah, I've got myself into a lot of fights and walked out still being the loser even if I won, because fights don't ever win anything. Most of the time, even if I was fighting, all I wanted was to be me. I know a lot of transgender people, they say, oh, my very first memory I knew. Well, to be honest, I don't remember that far back in my childhood, except to know I was right in about my 14-year mark. That was when I knew. Early in life, I had a head injury from a Tonka truck. Neighbor kid got mad because I was playing with it, picked it up and just walloped me right across the back of the head with it. My mom thought that I had heat stroke. So I was exhibiting being exhausted, throwing up, couldn't stay awake. And I think that has to do with part of me not being able to remember a lot of my childhood is because possibly caused a little issue in my head. Do I feel sorry about it? Do I want anybody to feel sorry for me about it? No. I've never been the type who's wanted pity or sympathy. I lived a decent life. Wasn't everything I'd asked for. Because if I had the life that got everything that I'd asked for, I would have been asked to have been born differently. I think we all know what I mean. But the hardest thing I ever did in life was wearing a mask. Always pretending to be something day in, day out that I couldn't be. Get out of bed, get dressed, in the wrong clothes, and walk outside. Shave my head every couple of months, even though all I wanted was the long hair. The one thing I hate having to shave is the one thing that I have to, a couple of times a week. Otherwise I start getting scruffy, and wish that would have never started growing. But hormones can be magical, But that stays. Once it starts growing, unfortunately, it never stops. I mean, I've never really introduced myself on this channel. Been like, hey, this is me, I'm trans, just throw everything out there that comes to mind at the moment. But being me is a lot deeper than just saying that. A lot of us who are transgender suffer throughout our life, and we hide it. And we're afraid. With good reason. We hear a lot of people out there who assault people like us. Or treat us like we are invalid, a fetish, and we are none of those. We are very valid. We're not confused. We know exactly what we want. And it wasn't what we got at birth, but all of our lives we never get what we want at birth, do we? We're born into a family we don't get to choose, into a gender that basically chooses us. And people who don't have to deal with this don't understand. It's truthfully something a lot deeper than I just want to be a girl. No. It's how I feel in here, how I feel up here, how I've always felt. It's never been something I wanted. It was something I needed. And it took me until I was 38 to get the memo that it was something that I could do. Wish I'd have known sooner. But everything happens in its own time. Had I done this sooner, I may not have the life I have now. I may not have the woman I'm in love with, our son, the family that I couldn't ask for a better family. I have a mom who cares and have a grandmother that actually does remember me. It's different. I got used to being the lone wolf, the one that just stayed by myself. The one that probably should have had the nickname Duck, because I let everything just roll off my back, no matter what people said. If I got in a fight, okay, big deal. But for the most part, it's... Even if it was my business, hands up in the air, it's not my business, and walk away. It was easier for me to deny and run than it was for me to face it. I did that a lot in my life. One point when I was younger, my mom had started dating somebody, and he let it be well known I was not welcome. I was not wanted. So what did I do? I left. Not just the county, not just the state. I disappeared. And I disappeared for quite a few years. And it's funny because later on I ended up running from my life again. I ended up, first time, I ended up a lot of places. My second time was with my ex. We spent basically a year on the road, going from town to town. Left California, went into Nevada, ended up in Vegas. what other town do you disappear in but Vegas? Found out we couldn't make a living there. Hit the road again and pretty much went all the way to Florida and ended up in Pemmican, North Dakota. And ultimately ended up back in California. I've always had a gypsy soul because I was always running from myself. It's kind of easy to admit now because I've faced a lot of things in my life that I should have faced sooner. My natural reaction to dealing with things was to ignore it. It will go away. I tried to ignore this. It chased me around state to state, town to town, year to year, and it never disappeared. But here I am in my own place with a woman who loves me, and I love her. Our son, looking at breast dog in like the next 6 months. Possible FFS within the next year, hopefully. And then my most wanted surgery by next year. I've already had the consult basically for my breast dog, which to get my breast dog done I need to deal with these wrecks, which I started when I lived in Wisconsin, but ultimately I moved again out of Wisconsin, and now I'm still having to deal with my teeth. I know there may be people out there who talk, and I mean the ones that talk dirty, and some that have their preformed opinions about me. But you don't know who I was. You don't know who I am. I have come a long way in the last 2 years. Which means anyone who watches my videos and thinks, oh, well, I knew her a long time ago. Sorry, you didn't know me. Nobody knew me. That was something I kept hidden quite well from everyone, was who I really was. Looking at me now and listening to me, this is the most genuine in my life I've ever been with people. Never been this truthful with anyone. And most of all, I'm being truthful to myself now. It's been a long road. Still got a lot of road to go. With my family behind me, I know I got the strength to take that road. So if you have any negative comments, that's fine. You can keep them to yourself. You can write them down in a journal if you've got one. But my comment section is no place for that. Basically, if you're going to comment, be nice. As with anyone else who's transgender, be nice. We've been through a lot of hell in our lives. A lot of denial, a lot of sometimes self-hatred. I know I had that. And now we're being who we really should have been from the start. And hopefully you can respect those of us who are. So this is what I'm going to cut out. Just remember to be you, because you cannot be anyone else. Everyone else is taken. Have a great day.